Our next destination was Kasanka National Park. We hoped that we would still be in time to see the fruit bats. We were in luck.
Dag 5 is wasdag. Hierdie klere eintlik al gister gewas, maar dit is die eerste son. Sodat ons kan klere ophang. Ja.
After an 800-meter walk through swamplands, we arrived at the hide. It was time for the show to start. Despite what most people think, Africa's largest wildlife migration does not take place on the savanna of the Serengeti and Masai Mara. Instead, it takes place in the skies over the Congo and Zambia. While Kasanka's bat migration may be lesser known, it tops many of Africa's more famous migrations in the sheer numbers of mammals participating. From October to December, approximately 10 million fruit bats arrive in the park to settle in a small patch of swampy forest.
We had 2 rangers tending our camp. Once again, the people of Zambia humbled us with their hospitality. Aside from keeping us safe from the hippos and elephants, their duty was to fetch water from the river and fill tanks so we can have a shower. At night they boil the water in a huge pot and supply us with warm shower water.
Today we are headed for Kapisha Hot Springs. There is an easy way and there is an interesting way. We never take the easy way. We took a gravel road to avoid the busy road filled with trucks. It was becoming very clear that we were driving closer and closer to the rains. The roads were muddy and wet and kept us busy for most of the day.
Occasionally we had some traffic, but nothing compared to the trucks on the T2. The road also took us past many Zambian villages. All over Africa, kids seem to have the same English vocabulary. We came across Lake Waka Waka, a beautiful lake and campsite. It was tempting to set up camp for the day, but we still had a long way to go. It seems driving lessons with a donkey cart also has its challenges.
Along the road we came across a stream with clean running water. Whenever you find clean water, you fill up all empty tanks. You never know what might be ahead. Some of us were working, while others decided to make a super tube ride out of it. Finally we met up with the tar road and stopped to buy some charcoal, as it was becoming clear that making a fire was not a sure thing anymore.
It was way past sunset before we arrived at the hot springs, and it was pouring with rain. We did manage to take a quick swim before bedtime. Another 10-hour day on the road was over.
The next morning we were up early, took a few minutes for some videos and photos, packed up camp and we were back on the road. Today was going to be another long one. We were headed for our third border crossing.
When you spend a lot of time on the road, you pick up some interesting things. When a truck puts on its right indicator, it's not safe to pass. The left indicator means you can pass. Branches on the road indicates that there was an accident or something has broken down. When driving in these parts, make sure not to turn on your headlights. This is a bigger offense than speeding.
And then, at last, we reached the border. Once again, the only tourists crazy enough to come to these parts during the rainy season. Another 3-hour border post experience. I might as well prepare some lunch. At last we made it to Tanzania. A grateful feeling. Time to do some local shopping.
This one.
Give me one.
Okay.
Give me one nice label I want. Yeah.
What about this one?
What is that?
Halimi.
Alright.
Okay.
Is that only
Another type.
What other type you have?
Another type is this one. Bingwa. It's called Bingwa, the strongest one.
Is that the strongest one?
The strongest one.
Alright. Everything is different over here. We reach Zambia and there are so many interesting things to see. The African way of living. You make a plan, no matter what the problem, and you do it with a smile. We reached the Utengule Coffee Lodge just before sunset. They do not really cater for campers, but were more than happy to assist us on their helipad.
We barely finished our charcoal braai when the rain started pouring down. Welcome to Tanzania.
The morning of 18 December, 8 days on the road, and our first proper wet morning. A different story to pack up camp in the rain.
Today we are headed for Dodoma, the capital city of Tanzania. Some interesting early morning traffic. It was yet again going to be at least a 10-hour day on the road. But first a stop at the bakery and then a traffic lesson.
50 is cancelled. You can do more than 50. You can drive even 140, 200, 180, 180. It depends with the balance of your car. But the issue is you
When
need
will
to
we get to
depends
Dodoma?
with the stability of your car.
What time we will get to Dodoma?
You do not see a lot of firewood next to the road, so when you get some, you buy some. We might get lucky tonight with the weather and have a nice fire. Closer to Dodoma, we see our first baobab trees.
We got to a dry riverbed just before sunset and decided to set up camp. We got to make a fire and had a lovely evening in our first wild camp of the trip. Today we have a birthday boy. We are taking him for some shopping. Our fridges were empty and we were headed for the Ngorongoro crater and the Serengeti. We had no idea where we'd get supplies after today.
If you're expecting a shopping mall with a Woolies or a Pick n Pay, or even the local Quick Spar, you will be sadly disappointed. Today we will be shopping African style.
Our first stop was the butchery. Not an easy task to try and explain that you would like a few nice rump steaks. Next up was the chicken market. Little did we know the chickens we were petting would land up in our freezer half an hour later.
Yeah, these two, another inside. Yeah. What side you want? Three. Yeah, four. Yeah, four. Two, three side. Yeah.
I also managed to find some fresh eggs. Joe was adamant to find some mutton, so we got a translator to uncomplicate the search. He took us right up into the heart of the market. Eventually we did find some and also bought very nice vegetables and fruit.
A few hours later we left Dodoma with full fridges and more than enough of everything else we needed.
Up next we will be visiting the world's biggest volcanic crater, do some game viewing in the most famous parks and make a turn at Africa's biggest lake. Be sure not to miss out.